It is hailing here in Minnesota. I'm trying to see if you can see. These are pretty big hail. This is quite crazy. There's hail falling all over. Hello. So, here I am with the sew again. It's gonna be sew till the end of time. I had to come in from gardening because there was a whole bunch of hail out of nowhere, June in Minnesota. This is what we're in for. And my family is still out and about. My younger son is home. He's upstairs now. He got caught in the hailstorm, but everyone else is doing their thing. And it's kind of a quiet night now that the rain came and I'm getting cozy. I need to get out of my gardening clothes, but I am going to cook up something just for me, which seems like a treat because I never get to cook small meals. It's always huge meals for everyone. So I thought I would do some stuff. The other day I went to Trader Joe's because things are not producing yet in the garden. So I wanted to talk about the things I got. Green onions. So I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to start off with this, which I've been loving. Just some Bluebonnet butter. I do have some salted butter, like creamed salted butter, but I'm not going to use that. I probably should because it would add a lot of good flavor. Then I got these. I love mushrooms. I'm the only one in my family that loves mushrooms. I've been snacking on these. I love these. And I'm also going to use the 2 peppers that we got off the Gypsy peppers, the dollar peppers. So I'm going to use them too, but my pan is already getting hot. I'm going to throw the oils and the fats in and get that started. I'm just going to chop all this up. I have some in the air fryer. I have some little chicken, I don't know what they're called. Hold on, I'll look. So I got the package. It is called Sobaba. Sobaba. Crunchy glazed chicken. It came with 2 of these in the box. I got it from Costco. This is probably the most expensive thing that I'm going to use. This is the last of it. I've been eating that. I just cook it in the air fryer for 7 to 10 minutes. I like mine a little bit crispier than the rest of my family. But the rest of all of this stuff was $2.99 or cheaper. $2.49, $1.29 maybe for these. And then this was maybe $3, I think. I am going to cook up some rice. It's the last of some instant white rice. I did want to have it with this. This is wild rice. I get gifted wild rice all the time. From relatives, when I'm hosting events, all the time I'm gifted with wild rice. So I wanted to cook it with that, but I am hungry. And so I'm just going to use up, I have a little bit of white rice left. And so I'm just going to use that up. My fats are in the fryer now, and then we will get to chopping all of this. Quick and easy, light dinner for me because I've spent all day in the garden, which was really great until the hail came in June. I don't know. All right, chopping. So the rice is in. We're chopping the peppers, the mushrooms, and the onions are sizzling. And these peppers are getting chopped. It's funny how, I'm a foodie, but it's funny how excited I get over just these little meals and cooking for myself. I love cooking for my family. I cook a big breakfast every morning. I make everybody a lunch. I meal prep things for the kitchen and the fridge. Dinners, all of that. So It's still raining lightly outside. It's beautiful. So my kitchen just feels really cozy and lovely this evening. I can look out my back window and see all of my plant relatives and animals, chickens out there. And so this is just really nice to be able to do this for myself. And knowing too that my family will be coming home and I already have leftovers from last night that they can enjoy. I'm really feeling this evening. You know, I wasn't feeling the hail, but now that that's over and the skies are more clear and I can just enjoy being, you know, it's really nice. So I think what I'm going to do as well is make myself some tea tonight, and I'll have some tonight, but then I'm going to put it in the fridge to ice it for tomorrow so I can get going with my day with a nice little iced tea. And I'm going to read this book that I've really been wanting to read. And so I'm going to go do that with a candle and just have a cozy evening. But let's see what this food's doing for us. The same relative that gifted me the wild rice also gifted me this. And it's funny because right away I put it, you know, in my kitchen and I'm like, oh, I love it. And every time I go to dry my hands and look for the towel, I see this and I'm like, I can't use it. It's too pretty. But obviously I need to dry my hands with it, so I'm going to try to keep it as white as I can. But knowing me and how much I'm actually in the kitchen, it probably won't. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Everything is still cooking now. I'm going to chop up, I think I'm going to chop up all of these veggies and just put them in containers, my glassware containers, so they can be in the fridge. That'll make it easier for next time I cook. But I wanted to talk about the joys of being where you're at. I know I talk about this a lot, but I think when I'm in my kitchen, like when I first came to this house, it was much bigger than my other place, which it's not. It is big, but it's not new, right? It has a lot of work. And I was overwhelmed with that at first, but now like I love like washing my dishes before bed and cleaning my kitchen before bed, because you know that I don't know, it just is so homey and cozy, and loving on my house really feels like I'm loving on myself and my family. And so I'm really grateful where there's evenings where I can like unwind at a good pace and like get things done and finish up the laundry and things that at one point when the kids were younger felt like such an overwhelming chore. Like I gotta get everything done, and work is never done. There's never no, oh, it's done forever for good. No, you know, you just keep pushing through it and there'll be another day to do it. And I just having that mindset, and also like looking at everything that I do around here as an investment in our family and our household and the home, just really keeps my heart at ease. And so evenings like this, my food might be burning. Evenings like this are really important to me. So just like even little gifts like this, you know, in our culture, we gift things all the time. Like I'm gifted wild rice probably twice a week, which is nice because wild rice is really expensive. And we don't use the cultivated wild rice. We use wild rice. And so Manuman is, you know, or Pseen, is really important to us and really special when I get it. So, you know, I try to cook it as often as I can. And when I make big meals for our community, I'm always using wild rice. But also the quick white rice is really yummy, and I use that often too. So, okay, everything is turned off and we are going to plate up in a minute, but I need to find these. So I got these as a gift, a wedding gift, and so they've been just phenomenal. I used to use Tupperware. I'm not so fond about using plastic, but we still do have it. So I would love to transition just all of these, you know. So I'm just going to rinse all of this stuff off and put it all away to make it easier on my family. This chicken is still sitting on. I need to put this back away. But, the little things like that, them little touches that you do, just make it so much easier. And I love being able to, because we are so busy as a family, to be able to go in there and just grab quick meals. My older son, phenomenal cook. He is always, using up the kitchen and making things from scratch. Like, I will come in and he's making himself and his girlfriend like a full-on steak meal or different chicken recipes, and they meal prep and they do all of them things. He's an athlete, so he's really good at that. But it really teaches me too to like, oh, I should be meal prepping so I don't try to get on the go food, which I've been really trying not to do. You know, it's nice when we can go out to dinner as a family, but when you're doing it a couple times a week or once a week, that's just too much. And now that the garden's coming in, I can really focus on making home cooked meals with our produce, and so that's nice. We did start actually, myself and a couple other businesses around my local area started our own farmers market, which we had to go through all the processes to start a farmers market. But it's really awesome because we have performances there. We have all local vendors. And it's just like a celebration every time we do it. And this is our second year running it. And so it's been really great actually to invest in the community, and then they come out and invest in us. And so it's been great. I'm really thankful that there's some local farmers that show up and sell their produce and sell plant seedlings and all of that. So when our next one is, our first one was actually when we went camping, so I didn't get to make it, and I'm one of the hosts of it. But thankfully all of my relatives helped out with that. But the next one, I would love to showcase a little bit of it because it's just a community celebration, and I think that's really important. I do also love our bigger one as well because they have a whole bunch of varieties. Everyone loves going to the farmers market. It's like where you see, you know, all of the local businesses and you want to invest in them. And I love just like chatting it up with people about their own creations. I think that's really important. And because I'm a business owner, like I know how important that is to make them connections and to learn about our local businesses and local family businesses that make our community strong and beautiful and bountiful. So that's really cool. And so having our own garden, you know, gifting is part of my culture, and I'm always gifting things. When I was young, we used to have, when we would have a celebration, a funeral, feast, things like that, we would have giveaways. And so you would bring something to give to other people, and there'd be like a giveaway table, and everybody would come up and all of these things. I have so many stories about when I was young about giveaways and all kinds of funny stories about them. But I love that part. I hand make a lot of things. I sew all kinds of regalia, ribbon skirts, ribbon shirts, cultural items. And so I love gifting that. And when I can gift fresh food that I grew from seed, I feel like it's a piece of me going home and then putting my love and nutrients into somebody else's family. And that's really cool. So, you know, it all plays a part in this circle, you know, the circle of reciprocity and giving back and all of that. And so, yeah, just sitting here cooking for myself and being able to look back at my garden and remembering them times that I was in that life where it wasn't, you know, I had to go to the grocery store and living in an apartment and trying to make that work and trying to grow or harvest food and medicine from, you know, just places by the woods, which I've done my whole life and was great. And I still do that, but, you know, envisioning something bigger for my family when my kids were wee little, you know, I'm living that now, and I always have to be grateful for that. So, the rain and listening to the rain and cooking and, you know, doing all the things, the laundry, all the things that people look at as like overwhelming and as chores, like I find peace in that. And I hope everybody finds peace in that. It's that slow down time, and I get it. We're all jumping from one foot to the next trying to provide. But it's these little pockets when you're folding clothes or folding your kids' clothes. I miss folding little people's clothes. I do. I really do. I remember when I taught my boys how to roll their socks and fold their clothes and put them in the drawer, and when they just wanted to throw them in a basket. Oh, they're fine over there in a basket. They didn't care about wrinkles. They didn't care about anything. you know. And then there was some points in their life where I'm like, these clothes have been in a basket and I washed them last week and you're giving them back to me to wash, but because you didn't put them away, you thought that they were dirty. I'm sure all the parents go through that, but yeah, like, but I miss doing that. And now, you know, I do their clothes sometimes, but they mainly take care of themselves. So I miss them days, and it's just them days that remind me that time goes. Time goes and people grow, and you have to be grateful for the small stuff. And I'm glad I still have that in my heart to remember the moments and be grateful along the way. So, okay, I will show you this meal because it's been sitting over there and it's probably cold. Scrumdiddlyumptious. I am so excited, y'all. So one thing that I wanted to mention is that I make a creation of sea salt that has stinging nettle and woodland nettle in it with some smoked paprika and some seaweed, and it is phenomenal. So I am going to sprinkle that on here. And then my friend makes this honey and it has stinging nettle in it. So I think I'm going to, I thought about actually drizzling in some soy sauce with that and some red peppers and drizzling it over that, but maybe I'll just put a drizzle of honey over this. I'm not sure. Either way, it's going to have some stinging nettle salt on it and it's going to be so good, and I'm so excited. Trying to decide if I want a spoon or a fork for this was a little bit of a thought process. So I want to get everything in the bite. Oh, look at that green in the bottom. It's kind of a little steamy still. I thought it was going to be cold, but it's not. This would be really good with wild rice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to go back for more and I haven't even finished the first bite. Holy buckets, this is delicious. That stingy nettle really just adds an earthy kick to it with the salt mixed in, and I love a little bit of smoked paprika on almost everything. But the chicken, which I make it crispier than it needs to be, but it's got like a honey. I should have waited to talk about the chicken first and then eat it, but it was good. One moment, please. Also, I should have had a drink. The chicken has a little bit of a glaze on it. I'm not really sure. The chicken's still out, by the way, which I said I was going to put it away. It's some type of a honey glaze. Crunchy honey glaze, maybe? I don't know. But either way, phenomenal. I want to save some for my husband, but I don't know if that's even a possibility at this point. It's so good. Okay, I should stop the video so I can eat. Yeah, okay. Okay. Enjoy your food, enjoy your family, enjoy your life.